a case scenario, when someone is dealing with work-related stress, or let's just say they're burnt out and they're seeking strategies and support to find like a balance, like a fulfillment in their career or their personal life. It could be personally where someone is stressed or they're burnt out and they just wanting some type of strategic thing, balance or support. What advice would you give them?
That is a great question. And when you have those work-related issues, it's definitely good to attend counseling. One of the good things about the workforce today is they do have mental health opportunities where you can have 6 sessions of counseling, even if it's just related to work issues or burnout or stress management. And so it doesn't have to be some extreme case of trauma to go to counseling. And so it's good to take advantage of that. And so oftentimes when people come to me for stress-related burnout issues concerning their workforce, because I am a purpose-driven counselor, my counseling technique focuses on helping people to identify who God says they are in the earth, be delivered and healed from whatever around their life has altered them from their unique God identity, and then helping them to be restored back into who He says they are, so that they can be made well and so that they can come into an understanding of their divine purpose and calling. And so even if you read my Kingdom Wellness Counseling and Mentoring Manual that is discusses my theory is all about we cannot be fulfilled in life without being restored in God identity and walking with God as a covenant lifestyle of destiny, because He created us, and so He already have ordained what our lives should be like and who we are to be in the earth, so that we could come into the fullness of the blessings, favor, success that we are pursuing. And so oftentimes we are choosing careers, we're choosing pathways of life that are either contrary to what God wants, or that are rooted in our what we feel we do well, or rooted in happenstance and not really truly grounded in what God is speaking for our lives. So even when you think about how we rear our kids, when our kids are growing up, we're focused on their personalities, we're focused on what they gravitate to, we're focused on what they do well, their gifts and talents. But rarely do we say, Lord, who is this child? Who have you called this child to be in the earth? And how do I help to cultivate their personality where they come into understanding of their destiny and purpose even at a young age? And then how do I put them in different environments where they will come forth in that? And so we don't posture our children in that manner. And so they are rooted in their personality, their gifts and talents, what they do well at school. And then they're striving to find a pathway based on that. And oftentimes our children are going to secular schools. And so they're rooted and grounded in what the world says they're good at, what this teacher who's guiding them that may or may not be Christian says they're good at, what that talent that they decide they want to take at school, whether that's chess, volleyball, basketball, and some of these things says they're good at, okay? And even just what different types of courses say they're good at. And so you can stumble upon your destiny that way, but oftentimes, even when a person gets to college, they're still searching out, well, should I be a nurse? Should I be a doctor? Should I be a chemist? Should I be a teacher? They may start in one area and of degree, and then by the first and second year they changed. By the third year they changed again, because they don't have really clarity about their purpose. They have understanding about what they're good at, but then when they get in those courses and they see what the responsibilities of it, what they may have to endure in a career, or they're searching out, this is too hard, so let me find a career that's easier, or that's less classes, less courses, less years of taking it. And all of these things are impacting their decisions concerning their destiny, as opposed to, I know that I'm to be a counselor. I know that God has called me to be a counselor, and so this is the career choice I'm going to choose, and whatever I have to do to be a counselor, that's what I'm going to do. And so they don't have that revelation. Why am I to be a counselor? Well, I'm to be a counselor because I'm to help heal people in the areas of mental health, emotional wellness, trauma. They don't have that revelation. I would have to say, even for myself, growing up, I wanted to be either a counselor or a policeman, and my main reasons was because I was a justice advocate, and I had wisdom even at a young age beyond my years of living, and people always told me their life stories. So I was a good listener, and I was able to give good feedback. And so I figured I'm either need to be a counselor or a policeman. And when I got to college, I always wonder why people did the things that they do. I was so intrigued by the choices that people made that I decided to be a counselor. And so I started off with my degree in psychology, because you have to enter counseling, you have to have a master. You have to have an undergrad degree in some type of mental health field first, and then get your master's in your counseling. And so, well, that's how it was at that time. So I'm not sure now. And so that is how I ended up actually in my career path. But it wasn't because I was groomed in it at a young age, or I was told this is why you're going to be a counselor. And even then, my reasoning was more because I had a good talent of listening. I had the gift of listening, and I had great wisdom. It wasn't because I had clarity of my purpose and how my purpose in counseling was going to change someone's life. And so when someone is coming in and they are having stress on the job, I'm automatically searching out, are you in your divine purpose? Are you in destiny? Or are you doing a job that you're good at in talent, but because you're not in your area of destiny where you're understanding your purpose, knowing your purpose, or even in alignment with purpose, it's causing a lot of stress, burnout, and just challenges at work where you're not able to balance your life and your career. And so generally I would start there with asking that person to search that out. Is this a job you really want? Is this a job you really want to do? If you could be doing one or two things in this time and season of your life, what would it really be? I would be focused on those areas. What things do you like about the job? What things don't you like about the job? Is this and so I would be focused on those areas. What things about this job bring you stress? If you could resolve the stress, how would you resolve it? And so I would be focusing them on those areas. And a lot of times when things are bringing us a lot of stress and a lot of burnout, it's more of something that we dread doing than it is something that we desire to do. Also, a lot of times when we have that dread, and anxiety, we're doing too much. And so I would help them to balance. Another thing about the job force is we tend to take our careers, and we don't take into consideration that we need to teach people how to treat us. And so there's no balance or healthy self-care. We tend to take on job duties and roles that aren't really in our in the reason why we were actually employed. We don't put boundaries in place. And so, I know people that have like 200 and 300 hours of vacation. It's like you haven't taken a vacation in 5 years. You haven't taken a day off in 6 months. You haven't taken time for healthy self-care. And you hear people say, well, the job needs me, or if I take off, I'm going to get behind. And they don't even own the company. It's not even your company. The work is always going to be there. And so you're sacrificing yourself for a company that is not yours. You're sacrificing yourself for a job that's already going to be there. And one of the things that we learned in COVID is if you die, they will replace you. Okay. If you are replaceable. When you walk out that door, actually the minute you say, I resign, I'm putting in my 2-week notice, they're already looking for somebody to replace you. Oftentimes they're not calling you in the office trying to get you to stay. Okay. And if they do, that's very honorable. But most of the time, that's not what they're doing. They're putting your job, they're posting your job, and they're looking for a replacement immediately. And sometimes they want you to train the person that's going to take your place. All right. And so when you think about that and how we sacrifice ourselves for the job without putting in healthy stress management, healthy self-care tactics, we are the ones who cause burnout for ourselves. And then also realizing that if this is a high stress environment and it's going to always be this way, is this healthy for me? And so you might have to make a decision that this work environment is not healthy for my self-care, and I need to make a better career choice. And sometimes we don't want to leave a job because of money, but you're going to let money stress you out. So you got a whole lot of money, but you're stressed. You're on a lot of anxiety medicines. You're constantly sick. You're yelling at your kids. You're yelling at your spouse. You can't spend time with your family because you're already at work. But at least I got money. That's the mindset of our society, and it's because we're not purpose driven. Okay, we're driven by materialism. We're driven by success. We're driven by money. Okay, and we really need to be driven by our identity in God and His purpose that is upon our lives, and knowing that when we are in alignment with that, it will produce money, success. Okay, it will produce all the things that we need, and it will produce it in a well-balanced manner. So I pray that answered your question.